لا يزال الخير حيا لا يزال إن في الدنيا سلاما وظلال.
Repent sincerely of their gluttony, of not honouring the sunnah of the Prophet, and I think it's a very good way to begin.
Some people fast just for the sake of fasting.
And so, yeah, but exactly, they do it for their mother or their society or their whatever. You're right.
For me, what I'll conclude, especially as a Christian, I'll say that this is not this perfect system for enabling people to come to this perfect way of living or stand, because we understand Ramadan is obviously one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and so I'll draw a conclusion that no, this actually what it's supposed to be doing, it's actually doing the exact opposite, where you have people who are supposed to be less self-centered, less self-focused, are becoming more fleshy, more focused on self and gluttony, and so it's actually doing the opposite of what it's doing. But I just wanted to touch on something.
Can I just mention that back? I agree with you.
Yeah, I know, but let me just quickly
I respond very
quickly. I have to respond. Let me quickly just mention one thing you said earlier on. You said something about it's meant to be not so much based on the external, but the internal. And I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Now, what would you say to this? Sahih Bukhari, book 31, Hadith 190 to 90 says, narrating Ibn Abbas, the Prophet never fasted a full month except the month of Ramadan, and he used to fast till one would say, by Allah, he will never stop fasting, and he would abandon his fast till one would say, by Allah, he will never stop fasting. So here you have your Prophet, who you've admitted, or you've kind of explained that fasting ought not to be for the external, for people to see you and say, oh wow, how wonderful,
It's what Jesus taught.
But here, Prophet Muhammad himself, inside Bukhari, he said he wouldn't stop fasting until somebody recognized he was fasting, which is actually, as you said, is actually contrary to what Jesus taught. So how would you say about Muhammad?
Let me come back to this. The very first hadith in chapter 1, section 1 of Sahih Bukhari says this. It's a very simple hadith. It says actions are judged by their intentions. Actions are judged according to their intentions. If I fast for public acclaim, then that is not, I will be rewarded accordingly. It's like Jesus said, if you pray on the street corner to be seen of men, you will have your reward. If you fast to be seen of men, you will have your reward. But you're supposed to do it for God's sake.
I appreciate what you're saying, Paul, but what I'm giving to you, again, is Muhammad, who's supposed to be this perfect role model for the Muslims.
Absolutely.
And here,
and for the whole world, actually.
For the world and for the Muslims.
Can we just see it? Which one is
so
it?
it's just here. It says Sahih Bukhari.
Can I see it?
The source is there.
I just want to read the thing.
And so here, Muhammad, it's saying he would not stop fasting until people recognized it. So for me, that doesn't sound like someone who's doing it solely between him and Allah, or doing it for him and God. It sounds like someone
I think this is open to various interpretations, because we've already established that the first hadith in Sahih Bukhari, actions are judged according to intention. And over again it says in the Quran, it says that God doesn't value our external actions, just that we have to be rightly disposed. So you see, Jesus was also a Muslim prophet. What Jesus said about this and what Muhammad said are essentially the same. And I take teaching from both, authentic teaching from Jesus. I don't think that hadith quite means what you're saying.
Their conducts are contradicting each other. I think it's quite explicit. I think it's
how are they contradicting each other?
I think it's explicit because the way Jesus conducted himself, it wasn't so much on what he taught, should I say, as we agreed earlier on. It had nothing to do with fasting so that everybody or people could notice. In fact, it's the very opposite. He said, wash your face, appear as if you haven't been fasting, because it shows a level of modesty, and it shows that that you're humble. But here, let me finish. But here, clearly, Muhammad would not stop fasting until other people could recognize that he was fasting. And it's not only this text. I mean, you can look through
Let me respond.
Yes.
See, I think to me that's an ambiguous hadith.
I think it's very clear.
Well, it's clear to you, but to me it's ambiguous.
Okay, what does this hadith say?
You see, the problem in
What does this hadith actually say?
Well, I'll come to it in a second. Let me come back to Jesus' teaching here. Because Jesus, a lot of the way Jesus taught things, he used what's called hyperbole. He used exaggeration. And indeed Muhammad used exaggeration as well. We can find examples of that. So when Jesus said, for example, he condemned those who he said, when you pray, go into your room or your private room and pray.
Are you addressing this?
In my own way, yes.
Okay, it sounds like you're kind of diverting. What we want to know
I haven't finished speaking.
I want you to address this, not about Jesus.
I will address what I wanted. I know this is
You don't want to address this.
Let me finish.
Okay. Alright. Okay, let me make it clear what I'm asking Paul. Paul, role model. You can answer.
No, I was in the middle of saying.
But Paul's
you're
role
interrupting
model
me.
is Muhammad.
You're
And what we're
interrupting me.
asking
I was
Paul
saying something and you were
if
interrupting
he was
me.
fasting,
You interrupting
would
me and I was speaking.
keep fasting until he sees other people recognize him, which would be an expression of not doing it sincerely solely for God to know, but for everyone else around him, just like his Prophet Muhammad wanted other people to see his conduct.
I'll be very frank with you. I'll be very frank with you, and you're not going to like this. I'll be very honest and blunt with you now. I don't trust you because I don't necessarily believe this quote is authentic. I'm just being very honest.
Do you want to look it up for yourself?
Okay, let me just finish.
Okay, Paul is just saying this quote is not authentic. Will you now look it up for yourself?
Let me finish. Secondly,
well,
I do because you are.
Look it up for yourself.
And secondly, I don't necessarily trust the translation because the Hadith isn't in English. The Hadith is in Arabic. So I would want to double check, A, this is authentic, B, this is an accurate translation, before I was going to say, yes, that's what you think it says. Now, I want to double check, because I don't trust Islamophobes, particularly militant Christians like yourself,
this is the Islam
who routinely distort
This is
and lie
Muslims'
about
response
Islam.
nowadays. Anything you
That's
show
my
them,
first point.
you don't trust them, regardless of the fact that you've given them the source to go and look up. We're doing it on camera. It's going to be on YouTube. People can look it up for themselves. Despite all of that,
do you read Arabic?
No, because that's Arabic. Now, the problem with Muslims is regardless of the evidence you give them, they will always deny it. And the desperation comes when they say, well, you know what? You don't speak Arabic. Oh, you're reading from an unauthentic source. And even though I'm showing it to you, okay, let me ask you another question.
No, I'm finishing. Let me speak. You've
Are you
interrupted
going to address
You've
this?
interrupted me twice now.
Will you address this?
Yes. Now let me speak. I've learned something. Over the years of my relatively long life, I've learned one thing. And as we share this bit of wisdom with all of you, to patronise you for a second. When someone tells you something, oh, X says blah, 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 I have learned as a rule in my life this: always check the source. Always look at the original. If it's in a foreign language, check with someone who speaks that language, because a lot of the time people mistranslate, misquote, distort, or just don't remember correctly what is allegedly being said. That's what I've learned in life. So when an Islamophobe, when someone who has a reputation for lying about Islam comes to me with an English translation of what he claims to be Bukhari, I treat it with total suspicion until it can be independently verified.
Okay, so here you have
because
Paul.
you are a known liar.
What Paul is using is
You're
a logical fallacy, which is a red
a
herring.
logical fallacy.
He's using a red
It's based
herring.
on knowledge
He's
of
trying
what
to
you're
throw
like.
people off
What you're
the
like.
fence. And by
You are a
throwing people off
well-known
the fence,
hate preacher.
he's using
He's a hate preacher. Hate
He's
preacher.
using unauthentic.
So
And
as he
now
doesn't speak any
he's trying
Arabic,
to walk away
as he
from the
doesn't speak any
discussion.
Arabic.
Now, Paul, as you can't clearly deal with this particular hadith, can I ask you in regards to another hadith?
No,
So,
because the same problem arises. I don't trust you. You don't read Arabic. You might well distort and mistranslate to suit your own agenda. That is
Would
why
you
I'm not
agree
interested.
that during Ramadan it is okay to kiss or to have sex during Ramadan?
Yes, of course it is.
It's okay to have sex.
Yes, of course.
Right. Okay. So it's okay. So
But everyone Muslim knows that outside of the hours of fasting.
no, I didn't ask you that. I said
No,
during
that
the
is
fasting
Ramadan.
period.
No, you
That
said
is
during
Ramadan.
Ramadan.
During the fasting
we can
period,
eat in Ramadan.
Let me
You can
clarify
have
my
sexual
question.
intercourse in Ramadan.
Let
Of
me
course you
clarify
can.
my question.
Everyone knows this.
During your fasting,
Next
during
Tuesday.
the so-called holy month of
Yes, of course you
Ramadan,
can have sex.
while you're fasting, you can have sex.
Oh, now you changed your question.
Well, I'm asking you a question. I'm clarifying my question.
Well, I've already
understand
answered.
it.
I've already answered this
So
question.
you can have sex.
Of course you can
During,
have.
you can have
Let
sex.
me repeat what I've already said. You weren't listening because you're so full of yourself trying to look up problems.
Okay.
As I repeat, everyone Muslim knows this, and you know this.
And you can drink
You can drink as much as you like, eat in moderation, you can have sexual intercourse with your wife during the holy month of Ramadan, but not during the hours of fasting. Everyone knows this.
That's the question I'm
Simple,
asking you.
simple.
The question once again is, during the hours of fasting, if you don't understand it, I'm going to clarify again. During the hours of fasting, can you kiss or have sex with your wife? That's the question I'm asking. That's a more specific question.
Can I just ask, are you hard of hearing?
Also,
Do you have a hearing aid?
Also,
Shall I switch your hearing aid on?
So your answer
Does your
Kiss
hearing
where?
aid work?
hold on, Godwin, kiss
your
where?
answer is no.
deaf.
Okay.
So I've answered
let's
this
look
question twice.
at the perfect
Kissing
role
mouth.
model.
No, he
On
said
the
sex as
hand,
well.
kissing on the
Islam.
cheek.
Who is
But he said sex, so I'm
Muhammad?
focusing on that.
Well, yes, we're going to look at both kissing and sexual intercourse. Okay,
Let's look at sexual intercourse.
let's look at sexual intercourse. Okay.
I'm not being a perversion when I say that. I mean, because kissing, if I was to kiss my wife on her hand, I'm not breaking, it's a whole sort of, but sexual intercourse is unambiguous. If it means what it is, what we think it means,
Okay,
it's unambiguous.
we'll address both.
So let's do it.
We'll address both. Okay.
let's
So
do it with
I'm
the
gonna
sex.
look at kissing and I'm gonna sex.
No, kissing's ambiguous. Let's go to the sex.
No, kissing. I'm gonna.
Yes, it is ambiguous. Because if Muhammad was to kiss his wife on her hand, that's not. No one's saying that's breaking fast. You're not exchanging saliva. You're not having intimacy. But sex,
Okay.
yes.
So my
that would
question
be
to you,
breaking
Paul, is
Ramadan.
where does it say that there is a difference or there is a distinction between kissing hands and kissing on the lips? Where's the distinction?
Well, it's common sense. Because if
No,
you're
it's common
kissing-
sense.
If you're
No sausage, just common sense.
What do you mean?
But you just said there is a distinction. You
Yes,
said
there
it
is.
right. So give
Yes,
me
there
that.
is.
give me
Because
that
you're not
distinction.
exchanging salivas, you're not involved in deep. But tell you about kissing.
So you're making this up.
Will you?
So you're making it up. You haven't got no
Right,
source.
we would
you're
need to go
simply
to a
saying-
Scott. No, let me finish. Will you
Godwin,
stop
can I ask you
talking
a
when I'm
question?
talking?
Saying answer the question.
Can you kiss your sister the same way you kiss your wife?
Are you gonna respond?
Sorry, what's my name?
Are you gonna respond?
Do I have the same name as you?
Okay. Let me read the hadith. What it says.
You answer his question.
Let me read the hadith.
Are you
what
going
it
to answer
says.
his question?
Okay.
Do you kiss your sister the same way you
A
kiss your
man
wife?
kissed his wife while he was fasting in Ramadan. Said, Ramadan. He said, we are not like the messengers of Allah. May Allah bless him and grant him peace. Allah makes permissible for the messenger of Allah. May Allah bless him and grant him peace, whatever he wishes. His wife then went back to Salama and found the messenger of Allah with her. The messenger of Allah said, what's the matter with this woman? And Salama told him. The messenger of Allah the messenger of Allah said, what's the matter with this woman? And Salama told him. The messenger of Allah said, didn't you tell her that I do that myself? And she said, I told her, and she went to her husband and told him, but it only makes him find fault all the more. And say we are not like the messenger of Allah. May Allah bless him and grant him peace. Allah makes permissible for his messenger. May Allah bless him and grant him peace wherever he wishes. The messenger of Allah, may Allah on. It says, got
a bit
angry.
complicated. I'm not sure I
Got
understand what's
angry and
going on
said,
here, to be honest.
by Allah, I am the one with the most taqwa of Allah of you all, and of you all the best one who knows his limits. So the lady goes to Muhammad, and Muhammad himself says, I myself kiss my wife during Ramadan. Okay? Now you've stated that there is a distinction between kissing someone on the lips, and in this case, perhaps he may have been kissing his wife on the hand. Now I'm asking you, where do you find, what source gives that distinction?
I think, let me
because
speak.
according to this,
Let me speak.
let me finish because you said you didn't understand.
But you don't. No, I do
You
understand
said
now.
he didn't understand.
I understand now.
So I'm clarifying.
So, no, I don't need to clarify. Let me say something. And I wonder if I can let me speak without interrupting. The last two times I've attempted to interrupt you, speak. You interrupted me both
Address
times.
this.
He is, but are you going to let him
Because you're
speak without
arrogant
interrupting?
and you're
Okay,
alive.
he
He has not
you have
interrupted.
heckling from
I'd like
the
to-
Islamic Dawah
I'm
team.
trying to keep it fair.
Okay,
I'd like
Islamic
to
Dawah
speak.
team,
Wait,
let him
I
speak.
thought I was going to speak.
Trying to keep it fair.
Islamic Dawah team,
I'm
calm
going
down.
to give a response that is consistent with my status and my intelligence and my knowledge. And that is, I'm going to say, I don't know. And I will have to refer to a scholar, a real scholar, who has knowledge of the fiqh matters. Let me explain why. Because when we decide on a particular issue, say with kissing, there's a whole range of hadith that scholars look at. They look at the Quran, the hadith, the Sunnah, and the Seerah, and so on. And then they will come up with a ruling based on their findings. They will look at the original Arabic. Now, I am not qualified to do any of that.
You seem not to be qualified to
No,
play
you're
anything.
interrupting again.
He doesn't seem to be qualified to know what Hadith says. He calls
I'm
us
not
liars.
qualified.
He says says
I
that
haven't
we.
finished. I haven't finished
I'm
speaking.
saying you seem,
I haven't
you
finished
seem to be
speaking.
very qualified
I
when I
haven't
watch you on
finished.
YouTube.
I
All of a
haven't
sudden
finished.
you're non-qualified.
I haven't finished. Let me finish. Let me explain my ignorance and my strength. When it comes to matters like this, which involve fiqh matters, or matters of making legal decisions on what is and what isn't halal and haram.
Legal decisions.
I am not. Yes, because it's a Sharia question. It's a Sharia question. But when it comes to,
He never knows when it comes to the hadiths.
I'm finished.
Why is that? Why
You're talking?
He's asking a question.
I still haven't finished.
So you never stopped my head.
When you stop. But when it comes to the New Testament, which I have studied at university in the original languages under scholars of repute, I can offer my personal opinion.
That's
but
interesting.
on this matter,
He knows
I am
the Bible
not,
more than he knows the Quran.
Yes,
That's interesting.
because that's my knowledge base.
So that you can
Now,
attack
as a Muslim,
Christians, young Christians,
finish,
newcomer
let me finish,
Christians.
let me finish.
You
In
go and study
Islam-
stuff so that you can
Let me
attack
finish.
them. And you don't even know your own
Let
Quran
me
or
finish.
your hadith.
In Islam,
really shameful,
we have
really
different
embarrassing.
roles. I am not a mujtahid. I'm not qualified to look at the usul al-fiqh. I am not qualified. If I was qualified, if I happened to be qualified, I would give you a ruling.